My name is David with Continental Electric Company. This is a training video to show the electrical system operation of Indiana State Prison in Michigan City, Indiana. We will start at the main switch yard where the utility power enters the facility. We're now standing in the switch yard at ISP. Utility power enters the switch yard and then feeds two transformers, Transformer X and Transformer Y. The load side of those transformers then feed the switchgear in the same switch yard behind me. The switchgear to my left consists of 10 different cubicles. In today's video, we'll be discussing cubicles 1 through 8. This is cubicle 1, main breaker for Transformer X. This is cubicle 2, main number 1 control transformer. This is cubicle 3, the generator breaker. This is cubicle 4, feeder number 1 breaker. This is cubicle 5, the main bus tie breaker. This is cubicle 6, feeder number 2 breaker. This is cubicle 7, main number 2 control transformer and auxiliary AC panel. This is cubicle 8, main number 2 breaker. Under normal operating conditions, utility transformer X feeds the main breaker in cubicle 1. That then sends power to the feeder breaker in cubicle 4. From there, it is distributed to the 4160 loop around the prison going to each S&C Vista switch. This circuit is way 1 in the Vista switches. Utility transformer Y in the switchyard feeds the main breaker in cubicle 8. That then sends power to the main breaker in cubicle 6. From there, it is distributed to the 4160 loop around the prison going to each S&C Vista switch. This is way 2 in the Vista switches, and we will discuss the Vista switches later on in this video. During normal operating conditions, everything in the switchgear is under auto mode. During auto mode, if there is a loss of power in Transformer X, the main for that said transformer will trip after an 8-second timer. After the main breaker trips, the bus tie breaker will close, and the prison is now running off of Transformer Y through the bus tie breaker. The same operation happens if Transformer Y were to lose power. Its main breaker is set to trip after an 8-second timer, and then the bus tie breaker would close. The prison then would be running under Transformer X through the bus tie breaker. Now, if both transformers lose power, two things will happen. The generator will start and ramp up to full speed, and also the 8-second timers will start on the main breakers. Once the 8 seconds are up, the main breaker will open. Once the generator is at 90% voltage and frequency, the generator breaker will close and the prison is now under generator power. Now we will talk about manual mode for the switchgear. First, verify that no voltage is present on main breaker 1 and 2 by checking the voltmeters in each cubicle. The electrician will check that the auto manual switch in cubicle 105 is in manual position. Trip main number 1 breaker in cubicle 101. Trip main number 2 breaker in cubicle 108. Close the tie breaker in cubicle 105. Put the generator control switch in cubicle 103 into manual mode. Close the generator breaker in cubicle 103 using the breaker control switch once the generator has reached 90% voltage. Power is now restored to the prison from the 4160 generator. This is the procedure to transfer back into main power. First, verify that voltage is present on the main breaker 1 and main breaker 2. If both transformer sources are available, trip the generator breaker in cubicle 103. Trip the tie breaker in cubicle 105. Close main breaker in cubicle 1. Close main breaker in cubicle 8. You will then need to stop the generator by putting the generator control switch in cubicle 103 to auto. The generator will continue to cool down under the control of the Cummings power command. Once the prison is running under both transformer sources, put the auto manual switch in cubicle 105 at the auto position. There are a total of 6 high voltage switches here at Indiana State Prison. Each switch has 2 compartments, a cable termination side and the manual operation side. All 6 switches on site are mounted so that the operation site is closest to the prison wall. Once open, you'll see a total of 6 ways that can be operated. Ways 1 and 2 are the mains for these switches. Transformer X from the switchyard is way 1, and transformer Y from the switchyard is way 2. Way 1 and way 2 can never be closed at the same time. This will cause an accidental paralleling of the 2 transformers in the switchyard. Ways 3 through 6 are all labeled for which transformers they control. Before operating any of the ways, you need to open up the cabinet in way 1 to expose the gauge. You have to make sure that the gauge is in the green section before operating any of these switches. Once you've checked that the gas pressure gauge is in the green section, you can grab the handle located over here. You're going to insert it into the way, and then you're going to operate it in which way you want to go. To close the way, you need to turn it to the left. To open the way, you'll bring it back to center, and to ground the way, you're going to go to your right. This is one of the 13 pad mount transformers here at ISP. The primary side is 4160 and the secondary side is 480. We won't be opening these today because they are live. This is one of the DTP panels here that the pad mount transformer feeds. Once open, you'll see the main breaker and a surge protector mounted in each cabinet. Non-labeled breakers are spares, and the labeled breakers are controlling what it's labeled. This concludes the training video for Indiana State Prison. Thanks for watching.